Yeah.
Very grateful. Unfortunately, I got so rattled during my speech that I forgot to thank the great Bill Prudage, the great Tony Basil, the great Eric Vito, and the great Mary Ector for helping me, for actually getting me in shape for this marathon, which is exactly what it is. It's a marathon. And I also forgot to thank my yentas who obliged me to do this job: David Steinberg, Peter Levine, and Alan Grubman. All of them told me I could, not only that I could do it, that I was capable of doing it, but that I had to do it, and or else they would never speak to me again. So I missed them, and I got, so I want to make sure that you all know that. Other than that, it was a great evening for Hello, Dolly. It's just such a beautiful show, and it's so full of goodwill and optimism, and I think in these times, it's very healing. It's a healing experience to come to, and I've enjoyed. I've done something like 80 shows or 89 shows. I've done a lot of shows so far, and the audiences are just enthralled with music that they love, that they know from their from the past, or even if they've never seen a production of it, they know the story inside and out. And the book is so brilliantly constructed, and the gags are so hilarious. I mean, truly, you don't really see shows like this anymore, where there are characters to root for, where there's a romance, where the structure, the actual structure of the book is it's such a well-oiled machine, and it was a thrill to play because there's not one single word that's out of place in it. It is perfection as far as structure is concerned. And of course, Jerry Herman's songs, which will live forever, and our Champions choreography, much of which was recreated, but there was also a tremendous contribution by Warren Carlyle, who filled in the blanks, the places where we didn't know what Gower had done or intended. So he sprinkled his stardust to all over this production, and Jerry Zaks, his inspired comic direction. And the kids, I also forgot to thank, I can't believe it, I also forgot to thank the kids, who are the ladies and gentlemen of the ensemble. A brilliant ensemble. Some of the best singers and dancers on Broadway today. Each and every one of them a complete and utter character. There isn't one normal person in that show. And it's so fabulous to see all these eccentrics on stage. And all I can say is that I'm having the time of my life. Just the time of my life. Yes.
Hi, Beth.
Sean Spicer here.
I was curious whether you spoke whatsoever at all, and got any advice at all about the role.
I got a tremendous amount of advice. I went to Carol Channing, I visited Carol Channing in Palm Desert, and she was very helpful. And her son, who had been a child at the time this show started, he had been on the road with her as a 10-year-old, and he remembered so much of what went down. And he was very, very helpful. Lovely, lovely man. And I also visited with Marge Champion, who was Gower's widow, and she sort of showed me how to get down the stairs without breaking my neck. And she was also very, very helpful. Jerry Herman, I spoke to on the phone. He lives in Florida, he didn't come up. But the music is so timeless. There's these songs, you hum them, you sing them, I don't know, they're like friends, they're like old friends, and people are so enthralled by them. It's really quite remarkable to be in my position, because I'm on the stage, and when the lights are when this house is lit enough, I can see what they're going through, and it's amazing. It really is amazing. It's a heart. Their hearts are so full. Often they cry, they certainly do laugh a whole lot. So I think it's all in all, it's a roaring success, and I'm very, very proud to be part of it. Yes.
Was there a tipping point in making the decision to play Dolly Gallagher?
Well, he just nagged me to death.
Scott
and I love him, but it's a very strong set. It's a very, very tough schedule. And I'm a woman of a certain age. I'm, at death's door. So I wasn't that keen to really, put these dancing shoes on again. But he made it sound as though I had missed something in life, and that I would be a changed person from this experience. And indeed, I have been. I lost 30 pounds, that's for starters, and I met all these great people who are so kind and so generous. And, you know, previous to this, you would hear all these mutterings about the Broadway community, and I'm a loner. I don't go much for crowds. So the idea of community was quite foreign to me, because when I started, there was no community. Which I started in 1965 here in New York. There was no community. There was only, you know, it was every man for himself, and sometimes you had drinks. But, anyway, it wasn't the way it is today. There's birthdays celebrated, there's weddings celebrated, there are people being born, people dying. I mean, it is real life in one theater, all this real life under one roof. And you become a family. And I wasn't prepared for that. I was quite stunned by it. And yet, they embraced me to such a degree that I can only say, it's more than I deserve. So, thank you. Thank you to the Broadway community. Yes.
You mentioned at the end of your speech some people who mentored you, who inspired you.
Yes, I was just a child. I was 14 or so. And Mrs. Myrna Ishimoto, who was my speech teacher, and Mrs. Betty Rice Blake, who was my drama teacher, took me under their wing. And we used to have little contests in our state because we didn't speak English in my state. We spoke Pidgin English mostly. And they had a program for you to teach the kids how to speak standard English, because we were a territory of the United States. So they would have these statewide contests, and they would push me along to do these statewide contests. And I was the state champion. And I played both parts in Glass Menagerie. It was like sister, mother, and sister, daughter. And that's how I won my trophy. And they really basically sent me on my way. So I never had a chance to thank them publicly. But 57 years later or so, I got my chance.
Can you spell their names?
Mrs. Ishimoto is Myrna, M-Y-R-N-A, that's her first name. And Ishimoto is I-S-H-I-M-O-T-O, Ishimoto. And Mrs. Betty, B-E-D-Y, right? Betty Blake, that was her maiden name. And she married a gentleman named Rice. I'm just going to say Mr. Rice. And I still see Mr. Rice. I don't see Mrs. Ishimoto because I don't go back so often, but gee, they were fabulous to me. They took me to Mrs. Ishimoto bought me took me to the first restaurant I ever went to. And I was really, really poor. And she showed me that there was another way of life. And it was really marvelous. Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Is absolutely beautiful. Do you have any advice for aspiring young actresses?
I think you should watch people. I think you should watch everyone, and I think you should watch them closely without judging them. Watch them and see how they behave, because acting is behavior and lying. And to judge a person stops you actually from being able to incorporate what it is that they have to offer to a performance. And also perseverance. It takes a lot. You have to be very strong-minded. You can't be a drunk. You can't be a druggie. I mean, people can be druggies, but they fall on hard times. So it takes tremendous discipline. And especially in the theater, as I've discovered, you live like a monk. I mean, you do nothing, okay? Nothing. You warm up, and you do your show, you go home, and the last night of the week you get a drink. Oh, hallelujah. Maybe you'll get two, but then you'll be sick tomorrow. Anyway, it's a hard life, and yet these people when I met these people, I've never seen such dedication. I've never seen such willingness to put themselves through such stress, because it's terribly stressful. The rehearsal process is very stressful, and if it's not right, they make you do it many, many times, and people get injured, and yet they continue because it's in their blood, and they love it so. And I'm the laziest gal in town, and when I go on the road, I do 2 shows, and these people do 8 a week, and I sometimes liken it to Christmas weekend radios. I was like, oh my God, I gotta go do another show. So I must say it has been life-changing, and it's been life-affirming because what the show itself offers, this democracy, this optimism, this color, and you know, the color, I have to say something about the colors because Samuel Acosta did the sets and costumes, and they're absolutely exquisite. And the man who built them, there were two people. There was someone in Toronto, but Werner from Euroco, I know, and he is one of the greatest craftsmen I've ever met in my life. And in the theater, there are all these craftspeople that you don't know about. There are shoemakers, there are prop makers, there are builders. The stage, the Broadway stage, supports $86,000. So the arts are a source of revenue for the city and a great source of revenue for the United States if only they weren't so narrow-minded and perverse about helping with the NEA and helping people, you know, helping the arts out in our world. They are dead set on making barbarians out of all of us and all of our children. I don't want to be a barbarian. I want to have color and beauty and light in my life, and I think everybody in their heart of hearts does. So that's where I stand.
Thank you so much. Congratulations.